so many people who go to these events, they miss out on at least 90%.
The main thing,
The main
right?
thing. No.
It was on the bus to Chernobyl, man. Throughout the events that I've been to, I've met some of the most interesting people that are, I can just call my friends now because this is my friend circle.
I think is the most extremely valuable thing that people should know about is not.
Okay, so this episode is gonna be about how I met your Maor. And this here is Maor himself in his full glory. Look at him, he's in our office in Sofia, so that's great. So Maor, what do you think about Sofia so far? Give us a quick recap.
Well, first of all, I was surprised of how it looks similar to other Eastern European countries.
Big surprise.
Yeah, for me it was a surprise, but because I went a lot to like Ukraine and Romania, but I've never been to Sofia. So for the first time, I feel like the Bulgarians I got to probably see how the next level of hospitality is. I mean,
wow.
Like, I'm not gonna host you as good as you did.
Yeah, well, I wasn't looking forward to that anyway. So, all right. So today we're going to talk about events because me and Maor met at an event, like a conference, Geek Out, and ever since we've been like really good friends. And we're going to talk about like the best takeaways that you can have from all of these conferences and events and masterminds that we go to.
Yeah.
So do you want to say a few words about how we met?
Well, so I've been going to a lot of the industry's events, and I was a speaker at Geek Out, and I remember I think it was Nick Shackelford who told me, "Oh, Todor is coming," and I met another Todor.
What, at the event?
Not at the event, just like Affiliate World, I think,
All
a couple of years ago. I was like, oh my God, this Todor, I love him. And he was like, yeah, but it's not the same Todor.
Don't get overexcited. It's not the same one.
Yeah, he's going to talk about Amazon stuff. And I was like, okay, I mean, let's see. Like, new speakers are 80% of the times. It takes 2 or 3 events for that speaker to, kind of like get the feeling, get, the audience's vibe, build confidence, so that takes time. But yeah, I feel like the second we met each other, as gay as it may sound, I felt like a big connection, and you made me laugh so hard, and it took me, I can't even remember how much I laughed like at an event like that from with.
But remember exactly where we met first?
No.
It was on the bus to Chernobyl, man. We sat
that wasn't the first time.
Yeah, it was, dude. Yeah. Like we sat at the far end of the bus where the cool kids usually sit.
Yeah.
So we went all the way back. We sat there and we just kicked it off with, I think it was with Felix. Like this is where the shit got really funny.
So Felix is a media buyer. Nick Shackelford is media buyer out of Romania, and it was there. And we had some good like jokes and stuff, and we listened to some music. And
dude, I still feel that Felix like wakes up at night and he cries about that day. I'm sure that something like that is still going on. Felix, it was nothing personal, man. You were just
sorry.
there.
We love you.
Sorry.
You know that we love you.
We love you, man. Like,
nothing
but that day you took a lot of pumps. Let's just call it that.
A lot of heat.
A lot of heat. All right. So yeah, we were actually on the bus going to Chernobyl, which unfortunately is no longer a thing. I don't believe that anybody is going to be able to go to Chernobyl.
Like we were extremely fortunate, to visit.
To visit that place. Yeah, I mean, it's. By the way, I'm just going to take a second to say that the bullshit that is going in Ukraine right now is really, it's unbelievable. I can't believe that something like this is happening in the 21st century. Like, instead of us solving problems like pollution and like endangered species and stuff like that, we have people like from the same families killing each other. This is crazy. And even though it makes me sad about Kiev and the whole of Ukraine right now, this is where we met. So something good came out of there.
Yeah, definitely something good came out of there. And hopefully by the time this episode airs,
it's going to be
Ukraine
over.
is going to be a thing, the war is going to be a thing of the past, not Ukraine.
Hopefully.
But and I feel like the big takeaway from how we met and stuff is and you go to a lot of these events as well, and the topic that we wanted to talk about is kind of like how to maximize your event experience, let's call it. So I feel like, honestly, so many people who go to these events, they miss out on at least 90%.
The main thing.
The main
right?
thing, which might be different for a lot of people. The main
Probably
thing for
is.
me might not be the main thing for you and stuff like that. But I feel like it changes between one person and another, but also 90% of people keep missing it, especially in the first couple of events. Like most people like completely miss it. And I mean, what would be like your takeaways on how to maximize events? Like, do you prepare in advance? Do you do like homework? Do you plan specific tasks on what do you want to get out of like an event?
To be honest with you, for me, being at those events, what I bring home is actually the people. Like I bring home people. I meet a lot of interesting people. And for me, it's not that much of what I'm going to learn from the speakers at an event as much as the connections that I'm going to build. And throughout the events that I've been to, I've met some of the most interesting people that I can just call my friends now, because this is my friend circle. Like the people that I grew up with, they don't understand what I do. They don't understand what I'm in. We're no longer in the same boat. Like the people that I grew up with, they're like mainly, they paint cars. They've got 3 teeth in their mouth. I'm coming from a really rough area in Sofia, like they can drink 3 bottles of like rakia, which is a bit tougher than tequila a night. They beat their wives, and that's the fun they have. And with these people at those events, these are the people that I really sort of hit it off with. These are people that I can talk to about my business, even about personal stuff. I mean, look at it, like me and you have talked a lot more about personal stuff than we have about business.
For sure. I mean, I don't think that you have to come from a rough place in order for you to kind of like disconnect from your friends once you get into the industry and once you get to a certain level of people within the industry, because the mindset is so different that you can't even talk about normal day life anymore with people whom you grew up with, regardless of how many teeth they might have inside their mouth. But for me, in terms of events, and I'm just like being super goal-oriented throughout, every day, but I feel like being super goal-oriented in terms of like exactly pointing out what you want to do within an event. And it always changes, by the way, but being goal-oriented just gets you so much closer to maximizing your opportunities. So, I mean, I'm just like thinking out loud. By the way, it's not like scripted or written, so we're actually
this
talking.
Is everything. It's just like
the first
a freestyle talk.
Yeah, it's a freestyle talk, and I feel like the first thing that's important is, and it's weird that I'm gonna say it because I talk about really technical details throughout these events. But honestly, as long as that event has like replays, I feel like going to the talks might not be the first priority unless it's a really, specific talk that you chose in advance and stuff like that. The biggest opportunity that I believe people should take from events are the people. The people are there for a limited time. This is where you make the connections. These are the connections that you wouldn't be able to make on like a Skype, Zoom, video conference. And this is the first thing for sure. The second thing, which I think is the most extremely valuable thing that people should know about, is not to approach directly into a business-oriented kind of like
for sure, man.
Don't
I hate to be sold that. Don't
be transactional.
Absolutely.
No one likes it, And people, when you do that, I don't know if these people kind of like think that they're much smarter than you are or something like that. Not you specifically, but the person that they're talking about with. But it's like the question that gets asked the most at these events is, what do you do? Okay, and it's like, that person, it's almost like, if I have to compare it, it's like the equivalent of, approaching a beautiful woman in a bar where she's been hit on for like 50 times that night, 50 guys already spoke to her. What are you going to say that's going to, be fresh for her and kind of like make her think that, that person already said what he does 100 times, especially if it's like someone popular or something like that. So, you know, if you really want to work with someone, create, you know, a relationship with them, at least, you know, an initial kind of like energy, kind of like vibe that allows them to open up and actually want to remember you, work with you in the next future. So just keeping that comparison on, just as if you wouldn't approach a woman and, you know, on the first conversation, you wouldn't ask her, do you want to have sex with me?
Sometimes it works, by the way.
It doesn't work for me. Never worked for me. I don't know a lot of men that it worked for. But just as if you wouldn't do it with a woman, you don't want to approach someone and say, you know, let's get in bed. What do you do? Let's run traffic. Can you launch my campaign? Can you help me with that? You know, that person doesn't owe anything to you. Build a relationship, you know, and do it after.
Right. By the way, I didn't know what you do like in a couple of sort of weeks after I came back from the event. I mean, you told me what you do over the phone afterwards. I mean, we sort of built the relationship first, and then I found out what it is you do and what we can do together possibly and stuff like that. So it's like, first of all, we hit it off as just, you know, being friends and laughing at the same shit for leaks at that particular moment. And then, you know, we built up the relationship on that. We had like, we went out. I think, by the way, one of the best things for me on those events is that people go there and they've cut the chain. Like families are back home. You go out there, you have like just fun with the guys. It sort of feels like you're in like a summer camp or something, you know? So, that's the sort of vibe that I get.
I used to play poker a lot, and I feel like poker, what's special about poker is that when you play poker with someone, you get to see how he is in real life, and it's amazing. You get to see how he is in his personal life and in business. That really is transparent inside poker. It's amazing to see that. And I feel like the second closest thing to that would be these events. And the events change. Of course, some people who come to these smaller, more intimate, you know, geek out mastermind type of events do not act and are not the same as people who go to these, like, you know, very large affiliate world, affiliate summit kind of like events. So people, you know, act differently, because when you're in a room with like 120, 150 people and you just talk to them about stuff, it gets much more intimate. You go through the experiences together. It's like 3 days of a microcosmos of, like, you know, everything. So everything is very squeezed. You know, whatever you manage to kind of like do in a conversation with a person in an hour, for them, like in an event outside of your country, it would be like an hour would be the equivalent of almost like 10, just because of, you know, how things move and the bubble that you're kind of like in when you're in an event. So that's why, you know, it's like a summer camp, because this is like when friendships are being made, relationships are being made. And just look at, you know, I'm just like thinking out loud, our kind of like group, which is, you know, Akatif, John, even I would say, you know, Cody and you and me and Julian and who else? I can't even remember. Lazar, of course, Yana, you know. These people just like where...
We have like a core.
Yeah,
this is like the core of the event, group. And then we have the satellites that come and go.
Yeah. So we've been together, you know, the Kiev, and then we did Dubai, and we did Cabo in between. And where in any industry, you know, and in any life, with a guy like Jason, which is like twice my height and like almost twice my age, not really, a lot younger. And you know, he's from San Diego. John is from I don't know where. Boston. You know, Cody is from Las Vegas, originally from Chicago. You're from Sofia. I'm from Israel. And Julian now lives in Puerto Rico. You know, where would, like, it sounds almost like a very complex joke that wouldn't be, you know, funny at the end. You
and
know,
then again, we get together like five times a year.
At least 5 times.
And we're like friends that, you know, that have been together like every single day. At least that's how I feel with everybody else. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But like, okay, so the core that we have, we sort of have our things to sort of stick to, and we have even like, you know, we get to hang out off events, like we go to like these summer vacations and stuff like that. But like, what would you think would be like, how do you keep in touch with people that you meet at those events, but you sort of, then how do you communicate with them after that? Because what I feel, right, is like every single event we set up a Telegram group or a WhatsApp group,
after.
and like for about two weeks, we keep the group active, but after that it starts to sort of everybody starts to distance themselves, gets in their own world and their own stuff.
So I feel like, first of all, all of the guys in the group and the people in the group are either founders, owners, CEOs, or something like that of their own operation. And it's okay that people have, less time to kind of like talk over and stuff like that. So I feel like, it's not drifting apart as if, we just kind of like used each other for that trip or event and that's it. We do have the WhatsApp group, we do have the Telegram group, and fortunately we just meet, yes, maybe we have like 30, 60 days in between. That's okay, we move through continents. There's a jet lag in between. There's a lot of stuff, but I feel like first of all, there is you're talking about definitely a problem that should be solved, and maybe it would be solved through the meta universe and the metaverse. And second, I feel like when we start working on projects together, then first of all we get like an all-star team.
Yeah.
Because everyone has like a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience.
In some direction.
In some direction, you do Amazon. I don't know much about Amazon, but I know a lot about, for example, media buying. You know more about how to build a team, how to manage people.
Yeah, we sort of find where everybody's useful.
Yeah, everyone's complementing each other in some way. So when we do build a project, it launches to a very
high level,
big scale, right out of the gate. So that's interesting to see. And I don't believe it would happen or would have happened unless that personal connection would have been involved, I don't think it happens because of the personal connection, right. But because there is this personal connection,
that sort of
the deal
adds more
moves,
fuel.
Yeah, the deal, you trust the person more, that you're gonna get paid, blah, blah, blah. So.
All right, but what would be the advice that you would give to people that are just starting out in the industry and they're looking forward to going to a few of those events? Because as you already said, we've been to a few of those events. We already know each other, so we always form this core. But if you're going to your first event, you're a little bit shy and scared. You don't know who you're going to meet, how they're going to perceive you. So what would you do in order to fit in? Into the group?
First of all, the first thing is, again, I'm gonna start by saying whatever I said, being goal-oriented and not spending all your time at the talks themselves, even if you want to learn, would be the first two. The next thing would be, if you can get yourself into a group, that helps extremely. It's almost like a National Geographic, kind of like episode where you're walking within a pack. So when you do that and you have a bunch of people with you, it changes the whole event atmosphere. People get closer to you, you get to meet people through people. So that would be the next advice. And the last advice, or one more advice that I would give is, maybe try and arrange specific side events or meetings with people that that are going to attend. So if there's like a Telegram group, a Skype group, a Facebook event, and you see people who interest you, and you tell them, okay, let's meet, and try and be specific, not like try and see what you can get out of, which is another tip. You don't want to get anything out of people. You don't want to take advantage of anything. The best deals I've got and the most money I got was from people who I gave value to. Mm-hmm. So I look on how I can help as much people as possible. And again, the best advice, for me would be not getting sidetracked by a lot of things that could happen inside an event. So I mean, the first obvious, for me it's obvious, is that I always tell people that I meet for the first time that there are two places that you don't try and hook up with girls. One is casinos, and the second one is these events. you don't want to waste your time, because I see, you know, people who, you know, they live
Try
a very,
real hard.
not just try real hard in their life outside of the industry. They're really good by, you know, talking to girls and, you know, dating and stuff like that, and you're gonna waste at least half of your time
Trying to hit that.
trying to talk to girls and stuff. Well, they have a certain agenda. They want to recruit you as an affiliate to a certain
Right.
project or something like that. It's not going to be authentic, you know. If it's something fast and you grab her phone and you talk after, or you Instagram her after, DM her, then that's okay. But I wouldn't, you know, focus all of my time doing that. So those are my tips.
It's interesting how you said that you're, you know, always open to helping people. I think that the best thing about these conferences is that the people who have achieved a lot of success they share like a common philosophy on helping other people. So I heard Jason tell me once that the best way to get ahead of what you want to build or where you want to get is to help people get to where they want to get. And this is like a karma thing. And I think a lot of
very Jewish. It's a Jewish
Is it?
religion kind of thing.
Right. Well, I feel that a lot of people share that, and a lot of people, I've seen people that are genuinely trying to help people that are just at an event for the first time and are just like getting their e-com or affiliate shoes on, and people like top tier people are really getting into conversations with them, trying to share some wisdom and trying to show them the path of what's the best way.
A couple of things to say about that. Yes, for sure, it's my philosophy that once you get off, you know, you manage to climb on that ladder, you reach out and grab at least another one and you try and help
drag
them
them up. Yeah.
The second thing is that I want to say, you know, people hear this and then they send me a message, and the request that they ask, people need to really differentiate between two kinds of like help, okay? Or two kinds of like advice. A one-time advice and a continuous kind of like thing. So if I need you to help me, you know, lift this computer to my car, that's a one-time thing, you know? But if I tell you, okay, could you help me practice soccer for an hour? Or could you run my campaign? Or could you mentor me? That's a much heavier kind of like commitment.
Burden to bear.
Yeah, so try and start with something, you know, a very specific question, not like how do you choose a product on Amazon? Like, you know, you get asked these very wide range questions.
That's a long game.
It's a long game. It's not a specific question. Even if you want to record that person an answer, it's going to be a 30 minutes, 60 minutes answer that's not going to help them get to the next stage. So ask a specific question regarding a specific thing. Because and also it makes you, as the person who, you know, you try and help people, it makes you feel bad because you come out as like, you know, a poshy kind of like snob.
You just circle the question and give him like a 1 minute answer. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so where can people see you next? Like what's your event schedule now?
So the next event would be on the 19th till the 21st of April. I'm gonna do the Amazon Rise Sellers event in Orlando. Right after that, I'll probably be in Geek Out Miami, which is gonna be the 12th till the 14th. I can't believe I remember all of those dates. And we'll see what happens.
Then we got Affiliate World in July.
Well, we have Affiliate World in July.
That's gonna be big.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
By the way, that's a crazy story. I don't even know if I told you about this guy that runs this company called P-Cloud here in Bulgaria. It's like a cloud service, and he called me up. Right, he called me up and he says we need to meet. You know, he's like, I got your phone number off somebody. We don't know each other, so I go there, and the guy's like. He's like a mid-aged mathematician, like, you know, like the beautiful mind type, you know, obviously not very sociable, but like, and he was like, man, we're gonna have like a booth at Next Affiliate World, and we are gonna rent like the biggest boat on the harbor in Barcelona, and I want you to help me sort of get people to the party because I don't know many of these guys. Like, would you be able to help me with that? And I was like, dude, you know, look no further. I'm your guy, man. Just tell me the size of the boat and how many people I got to get on it, and we'll do it. So there's going to be a big party in Barcelona, is all I'm saying. So anyway, think we should wrap this up.
Yep.
I mean, I hope that this was helpful to you guys that are going to be going to some of those events soon. And as I said, for me, the thing for me doesn't need to be the thing for you. But for me, the biggest takeaway is relationships like this, like having people come to like Bulgaria, Sofia, spend time with me. Next time, I'm going to go see Maor in Tel Aviv. So we're going to have a great time there. And this is building up relationships for life. It's like friendships. It's like business partnerships. It's just like things that are going to push you further up towards where you want to get. So my advice would be go to any event that you can. This literally changed my life, changed my business, and changed my whole perspective on life. So being on those events is like 100% a must for me. I could not go to any of them now. Yep. So that's it. All right. You good with this? You want to put the hat on? Like, no, you know, the sponsorship that we agreed on? Yeah, it's like, okay, it's like, okay. Okay, here we go. I'll put this one on, my yellow. I watch Yellowstone with this hat. So there we go. Thank you very much, guys, and see you in next episode. Woo!